Hello, my beautiful people. I wanted to make this video because I was in my office doing stuff, doing work, and my brain was throwing all sorts of thoughts my way, and I started getting into those. And the thing about the brain is we can either let it control how we're feeling and let it take over, or we can actually choose to create presence. And so when I started seeing how all of these thoughts were just wanting to take over what I was experiencing, then I chose to look at the thoughts how they were coming in, and I started creating presence for myself. So I looked around and I asked myself, okay, so where am I? I'm in my office, and I started looking around, and I said, okay, I'm sitting on this chair right now. These thoughts are just coming to my brain, but they're not actually happening. So something to create presence is you get rooted, and the way that you get rooted is you start looking at your surroundings. So if you're, for example, I was in my office, so I looked around, touched my chair, looked at my bag, looked at my big thing of water, and then I thought, okay, so all of these things got here because I put them there, or someone put them there. So I started deconstructing the experience that I was having, because it wasn't the thoughts that I was having, it's actually where I was at. So a powerful thing that I use is that it's not always easy to quiet our mind, but when you just start looking at things as like, this is something, this is something, this is something, then what happens? You create presence of where you're at, and you can quiet the voice. Hi guys, I love it when people join. So what happens throughout the day is that we walk around, and even as we're walking around, you're like thinking, oh, I'm walking, I'm going to work, I'm walking to my car, is there going to be traffic? So it's always a story that we're running, and then the brain goes, boom, are you going to be late? Boom, should you have left a little earlier? And then you just start interacting with all those thoughts, and then all of a sudden your experience of like what you're doing is not being present, because you're just in your head interacting with those thoughts as opposed to being in the moment. So what I did for myself was just, I was really able to just take those stories out and just say, okay, I'm sitting in this office, bye, and just be present where I was, and realize that those thoughts were just thoughts and not my reality. So a lot of times when we worry and we have all this stress in our lives, is because we get so in our head about what's the experience that our brain wants to take us through, as opposed to what's actually happening. So we're interacting with the brain as opposed to the reality. And when we do this, we're not being able to be present. If you have a conversation with a friend, and you're in your brain about like, oh, but she's saying this, she's saying that, but oh, she said this, and like maybe she could do that instead. And instead you're interacting with your thoughts and not listening to your friend. So my brain's a little scattered because I wasn't planning on doing a live video, but that's exactly why I did the live video, because I was like going into my head about not doing the live video, so I did the live video. So those things that the brain tells you not to do, it's those things that might actually get you that thing that you want to get in life. So I'm disconnecting with this thing, and I'm connecting with the now. So I decided to come and take my break and come to the last floor of the parking lot of where I park my car while I'm at work. So let's create presence for where we're at, and understand that where we're at is where we chose to be, and that